Hey, before we begin, let's thank our sponsors like Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. But that's not all they do. Inspect All can take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. InspectAllServices.com. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora at the Aurora Law Firm, litigating all over the United States, based out of Georgia, criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, and more. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. Ridgeline Counseling, you need help? I suggest you get help from the best in the business. That would be one Dr. David Markwell and his 10 therapists. 3 locations in Georgia, Sprayberry High School and Sandy Plains, right across from there. That's in East Cobb, Marietta near the Square, and McKaysville outside of Blue Ridge, but can also do virtual sessions no matter where you listen to the BS. Dr. David Markwell can help you. MarkwellTherapy.com or email him directly, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. FBC Insurance, perfect for new homeowners or people just looking to reshop their current insurance policies, which is always a good idea. 5-star service, shop over 35 A-rated companies. They'll help you shop carriers and find insurance, whether it's for your home, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or just a personal policy. 888-308-1841, or you can email them info@fbcinsuranceservices.com, or just get a quote online, fbcinsuranceservices.com. Multi-policy bundle discounts. Rachel Guy, that's my guy, your guy. My wife, looking to buy or sell a house in Florida or Georgia, she can help. 404-797-4600, or you can email her. I am rachelguy@gmail.com. Keep it clean. Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia, family-owned and operated, which we love, a Generac generator dealer offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. And each and every one of you, when you become a customer at Alternate Power Solution, gets an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract. Call or request a free in-home assessment there on their website, poweringgeorgia.com. A+ rating with the BBB, 770-853-7571. And remember, $500 off your entire installation by using the discount code Bailey, my last name. JHM Land Solutions, family-owned and operated, grading, land clearing, mulching, and a tree company. There is no project too big or too small for JHM Land Solutions, servicing Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. It is solutions for your outdoor space. All that stuff out there that you don't want to clean up, that's where JHM Land Solutions comes into play, and they are great. 770-274-9120. Jayco Contracting, we're talking about one Cliff Bratcher, gutter and roofing specialist, and a guy not only that's great and cool, but you can trust. Works 7 days a week and always for you. 770-316-3876. Licensed and insured gutter and roofing specialist, covering all of Georgia. Platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, the creator of the Pink Panther. Plus free gutter guards with the purchase of a roof. Satisfaction guaranteed, commercial and residential. JaycoContracting.com. Again, 770-316-3876 for Cliff. And then a live ozone therapy spa. Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa. That's mine and Rach's new spa, providing ozone therapy administered through the Hockett sauna, the most non-invasive way to receive ozone therapy. Red light therapy, presso therapy, halo therapy, chromiotherapy, PEMF grounding mat, and more. Plus ozone-infused products online at AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. Right now, Black Friday sales going on, deals, specials. Take advantage of them by using the code HOLIDAY30. Always BS10 for 10% off, but the Black Friday ones are even better. Obviously, that's 30% off. And if you're in town, please stop by. We want to help heal your body, whether it's for maintenance or a specific issue. This is cutting-edge technology in the healthcare world. I've seen it work with my own 2 eyes. AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. Remember, if you want to sponsor the podcast and or radio show that airs Saturday mornings in Orlando on WJRR or Jacksonville on Planet Radio, we would love to have you. Currently looking for more sponsors. Reach out to me via thebaileyshow.com. Tickets for Podcast and Pours 4 with Saliva, Distinct Grace, and now Riley Risa up there on thebaileyshow.com, as well as your submissions for Livin Rent Free so I can pay a month of rent for you for the month of December, thanks to Inspect All Pest Services. So lots going on. thebaileyshow.com. Please support all of our sponsors. They mean a lot to us. We appreciate them, and I hope you do too. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 282 of the BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there, that is the B-Man, Branden Thrasher. Hello, B-Man.
Oh, man, I just took a big old dose of peanuts right before that intro started. I was seeing if I could finish it before then. I barely finished. Barely.
What's crazy is we took a 10-minute break, behind the scenes, break the fourth wall of this magic production of podcasting. And the dude goes to me, he's like, yeah, I had to run to the store and get peanuts. And I was like, what do you mean you ran to the store? He's like, hey, I can see you right through the woods. And I was like, did you literally, like, I'm thinking Stranger Things and Kate Bush is playing in the background, you know, when you're running to the peanut store or the little Indian guy at the gas station.
No, I've walked there before, but I took the truck this time. But we got done recording at like 8:25, and when I was checking out, I was looking at the time there. It was 8:30, so I got out of the house, out of the basement, in my truck to the gas station, checking out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
We always say it's a blessing and a curse that we have the gas station so close. Like, we can always get stuff when we need it, but you know, gas stations are more expensive than going to the regular grocery store, so we're kind of burdened by that. But it is kind of nice just being able to go right around the corner, grab a thing of toilet paper, maybe some soap, paper towels, beer, snack if you need it real quick, instead of going all the way up into town.
I'm glad you realized that at 25 years of age, because a lot of people your age, when I was 20 some years old, you know, I was taught that from a very young age. My mother, even though, you know, I was fortunate enough to grow up for the most part in households with money, she would always say, you know, hey, look, we're going to go to these places where it's less expensive. That's why she would never buy me. I mean, she was still, I mean, she spent money on dumb shit. You know what I mean? Versus, like, she wouldn't buy me something when we go to the theme parks, because she's like, we can get it cheaper when we get back. And, you know, there was no online shopping at the time. She would just say, we can get it cheaper at Kmart or Walmart or something like that. But she would never, ever buy groceries at the gas station because of that reason. So I always learned that lesson, and I always stuck to that lesson.
Yeah, that's why it's called a convenience store. You're paying a little more for convenience because it's close to your house. You know, you might be heading home, grab some things. But I remember when I was younger, and my parents always was like, no, we're not getting that. Or I would want to get a drink and like a bunch of chips and candy, but no, just get one thing. Too expensive here. And then I always remembered growing up was like, damn, when I get older, I just want to be able to buy shit at the gas station. So now I buy shit at the gas station. I'm like, damn, I got a bag of chips, some gummies, and a damn Dr. Pepper for like $10. I'm like, that's just crazy. That's
my biggest pet peeve, is having to go to the grocery store, like Walmart, the Marketplace, or Publix. This is like 3 miles from my house, but it's just such a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? I had to do that today, actually. So for Thanksgiving, which I don't think I'm going to do my Thanksgiving recap on this episode. I think I'm going to wait for a sub episode, and I'm still contemplating whether I want to do it. I'm afraid I'm going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
Oh, you mean your 20-person Christmas didn't go perfectly?
Thanksgiving? Yeah.
Oh, Thanksgiving, yeah.
It was fine. There's just observations that I made, which will make me never do it again, ever. I mean, that's all I'll say about it right now. Never do it.
Is it a you thing though, or is this, if it would have happened at someone else's house where you were to guess, would have been a bigger deal? But if it was since it was at your house, it was kind of more of a deal.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's a me thing because it's my house, but it's a me thing for legit reasons. You know, like manners, morals, ethics, stuff like that. Just maybe a little nitpicky, but it's my house, my rules. And
did someone kneel during the Christmas or the Thanksgiving prayer?
No one.
You have no kneeler out there.
No. Somebody would have protested my Christmas Day parade. They would not have eaten at my table. I can tell you that right now. No, it wasn't anything like that. And like I said, I'm not going to do it on this episode. I might do it in the next episode when it's a sub episode, because I don't think anyone of them pay. So I'll just leave it at that. But we didn't have mayonnaise right before Thanksgiving. Like, we were still prepping, like my wife did the turkey. I double smoked this ham that was amazing. And her turkey was amazing. And, we had all the food was great. People, for the most part, brought food, and it was everything. The food was fantastic. It was great. But one of the last things that we had to make was deviled eggs, and you needed mayonnaise for that. We ran out of mayonnaise. The only mayonnaise we only
Paramore Brown's mayonnaise, man, in the back of the fridge.
Wait for it. Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
So the only mayonnaise that we had was Paramore Brown's Miracle Whip. If you join us for the live Twitch streams, you hear Paramore Brown talk about the Miracle Whip and all that stuff. Was his Miracle Whip. We're not doing Miracle Whip on deviled eggs. Miracle Whip is, it's not an us thing. Let's put it that way.
What are you getting, Dukes?
No, Hellman's. But all the grocery stores are closed now on Thanksgiving. Like, there's nothing open on Thanksgiving. They've gone back to that, which is cool. I actually kind of like it. So we were SOL for mayonnaise. So we had to ask her sister to bring over mayonnaise. We got the mayonnaise. Mayonnaise gate was solved. That's not a problem. But today, I woke up and I was like, I got to go to the store. I got to get mayonnaise, just because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. You know what I mean? And we're all doing stuff around the house. We're getting ready for Christmas. I put the Christmas lights up the other day, and I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit. This year, it's tough, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because Ariel's not in the house, and you're in a new place. That's it. Once the kids are out, it's different. So much different. And once you become not a kid anymore, it's so much different. Like me, I'm probably feeling the same way you are. Like, I'm trying to get into it, but it just feels like another Tuesday or Wednesday or just another winter day. It's kind of like, blah, time to buy presents, time to go hang out with the family, do all this. And I don't think I'll find that joy again until I have kids. Now, I don't know if you'll find that joy again until you have grandkids, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm a Christmas guy. I like giving Christmas prizes. You know that. I'm a big giver during Christmas. I like to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like I'm forcing myself. I'm getting there. I think that I have to do what I do every year, and that's go to the mall. I don't know what the mall situation here is in Central Florida, because I've been away for so long. In Roseville, California, the mall was fantastic. It was great. The weather was great. You got in the Christmas spirit. It was actually pretty good. In Georgia, it's a lot easier because the weather gets you in the Christmas mood. Our neighborhood was great. Everybody put up their lights. We had, like you said, the kids were at the house. I agree that does play a huge part, like 90% of it. I won't disagree with that. But you should still, I think, no matter what, be able to get into the Christmas spirit. I'm trying to find, I think this year I have to do something that I've never done before, and I don't know what that is. I'm leaning towards, I'm a big fan of signs, right? I'm a believer. I think the universe talks to you. I think the good Lord talks to you. And I met somebody, take a guess where?
Poker room.
Yeah, poker room. I didn't know that I knew this person until about 2 hours after talking to them. And when I came back to the table, the guy goes, "Hey, we know each other, and we know each other from college." And he's going through a divorce and stuff like that. I started to think, it was like the randomness of me connecting with this guy, finding out his story, knowing that he's getting ready to go through like a bad Christmas, and the situation that I'm in this year. Granted, our daughter's going to be home, our son will be over, for Christmas. We'll have family here, so it's not like we're not going to have family. But I think this Christmas I need to do something different. We're doing the Livin Rent free, which is great, but that's part of the podcast. I'm not actually going to see with my own two eyes how it's going to benefit someone when I give them the month of December's rent. I mean, I'm sure they'll send me a message or hopefully post on social media or send a video or something of, how much it's helped them. But I need to see with my own two eyes. I think I have to like adopt a family or help some kids. I got to do something like that.
I think you could go be Santa at the mall. You get the tallness. They'll just put a big suit on you, get you a beard. You get to see the excitement and the joy through the kids' eyes. And then you also get to feel like you're Santa, and you're like, you are the holiday spirit. It's a part of you.
I got to do something. I don't know. I thought putting the lights up would get me there, and it was just a pain in the ass. I was like, oh my God, I just can't wait to get this done.
You could buy a baby reindeer and raise it. And it'll be like 1 year old next Christmas comes around. It'll look like Rudolph or something.
I could buy a baby reindeer, Brandon. That could do it. I definitely need to go to the mall and walk around, because reminds me of my grandmother. Malls are Christmas. That's a thing for me. It is. That's totally a thing.
And they got like that smell in the air, like that. It's not the ginger, it's not the cinnamon, it's like the tinsel and like a little bit of mold in the air. Like the stuff's been packed up for a year. You just got that must. That's just when they first hang it up. I always remember that part. Just a little mustiness along with the Christmas smell.
It's a little. I will tell you this. It's more difficult living in Florida because the weather's so beautiful. It's like springtime, right? When we were in Georgia, a lot easier because it was cold, real cold,
Yeah, we're in the 40s now, and it's gloomy. What are y'all at? Still in the 70s down there?
Oh, it's good, boy. I mean, they were in the pool the other day. The kids were in the pool.
We're sweating every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shorts and a tank top. I mean, that's the weather. In California, it was cold. We were in NorCal, so it got chilly there. I mean, it got cold there. And then 30 minutes up the street, you go into Auburn, and it was snowing. So if you wanted to see snow, you just drive 30 minutes up the hill. It's 30 minutes from your house. It was tons of snow, like to the point where people were snowed in. And that was just literally 30 minutes away because the elevation difference. I mean, 30 minutes away, you were 3,000 feet high. So, that was kind of neat. So I don't know. I got to do something.
Auburn, California. I figured out halfway through in that.
Yeah. Auburn, California. Absolutely. Yeah. Auburn, California. The other thing is for me to, like outside of the religious aspect of Christmas is a very kid holiday. We all know that. There's no secret. I don't even think that's a debate. And we as adults try to go back to like our childhood and find things that made us happy during Christmas that gets us back in that mood. I've always been a hunt for things kind of guy. It's very easy to find things online now, of course, but I still like, excuse me, the idea of hunting at a store, as cumbersome and irritating as it may be to deal with people and traffic and stores not having it and going from one store to the other. There's something to be said. That aspect of finding somebody's present, hunting it down, puts you in the Christmas spirit. Because once you find it, it's a really cool feeling of accomplishment. You understand?
Yeah, no, my dad did that for me one year, and I didn't realize it, but he went to like GameStop, went to 2 different GameStops, Walmart, and Best Buy, and he was digging through the movie bins, trying to find Spider-Man back in like 2004 or 5, whenever it like first came out. But I said I wanted to watch Spider-Man. I wanted to watch it or something. I think maybe Shrek. That might be where my Shrek obsession comes from, but it was one of those movies. But he looked for like hours and hours, and he finally found it. And I it's probably ironic for him because I got the movie and then I would watch it like once a day. He's probably like, oh, Jesus Christ, now I got to watch Spider-Man once a day. Jesus.
But see, now that you're older, he'll look back and he'll go, you know what? That was probably the best Christmas prize I ever got my son was that movie. We watched the shit out of that movie. And there's something to be said about that. Like Rach and I were talking about this the other day. We're going, like, what do we get the kids? Caleb is in his own place with his fiance. He probably wants stuff for his house. Now we're going to buy him like laundry baskets full of stuff for their house. Ariel's moving into a house next year. Not that we're going to get it all for this year, because then we're going to have to store it at our house. But, outside of clothes, she's almost 20 years old. What do we get?
I feel like, see, like I've been trying to look, because I hate asking my dad and my mom and my grandma ask me for things that I want, and really I don't need anything, but I also I also don't want people to get me stuff. I'm just at like that weird point, but I know they want to get me something because, they're my parents and my grandma. So they want to get me something. So I've got a few things that I've thought of this year, put some thought into it. So that way I'm just not like, oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Give me clothes, give me whatever. But, I know it's a lot of the times it's more kind of like perishables that younger people will want. Like you buy them a 12-pack of, I don't know, like bath bombs or something they can use like in their daily routine, but they, it runs out.
Yeah. The worst thing that you could do, if you're in your early 20s or late teens and you don't need anything and you're just trying to be polite and an adult or somebody, a family member asks you what you want for Christmas, say cash. Now I know that's the most sensible thing, but it's not a thing, right? I mean, businesses, cash, right? I give you cash. That makes sense. I'm not going to buy, I mean, maybe I'll buy you something. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to get you something, but maybe it is. I have no idea. But for our kids, cash would be the easiest thing, but that's not fun to open up. You know, it's funny when you're a parent and all the years you bitch and complain, especially guys, that you're buying your kids crap, stuff that they'll never use, just stuff. And I never understood it. I would get angry about it. Rach and I'd get in arguments over it. Why are you buying this stuff? You just spent so much money. They're never going to use it. It's a waste of money. What are you doing? Now you get to this point in life and you look back and you wish you could buy them those things that they're not going to use. It's so weird. It makes zero sense. But
yeah,
it's
because you're just like so happy as a kid, like no matter what it is, as soon as you open it, you're like, oh God, what is this? And you look at it and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna play with this. And then you go to the next thing and you're just so happy. So much emotions going on. And it's really not even the gifts. It's just the fact of opening it, seeing it, what it is, and be like, oh, it's bright and colorful. I can play with it, cars, or some kind of tool or some kind of electronic. And it's just a feeling, I think, more than, because like I said, a lot of my toys that I got, I probably played with 25% of them, maybe, after the first week or so, I would just be like, this ain't my favorite toy. I would narrow it down and then I'll just have a bunch of stuff. But just the excitement of opening it. And I think, parents just like seeing their kids get excited, knowing their attention's not going to be on it long, but just that moment, they're just like, hell yeah.
And the best Christmas prize that most people get as a kid are usually the most unexpected things, I would think. I know that's in my case. Like you're 25. Go back to, when you're a kid, a teenager, and you got all this stuff that you asked for. But I would guarantee, I'd bet that your favorite Christmas prize ever was something you didn't ask for unexpectedly, and you got it. And still to this day, you remember every Christmas that was your favorite thing.
Yeah, I remember I was like deathly sick. I was like, had the flu or something like that at the time. And it was one of those Christmases, like 60 degrees outside. It's like, yeah, just bleh. We're just all open our presents. And then the last thing I got, I remember I got an AR and a new compound bow for competition. So I was like, holy shit, I got a gun and a bow. I think I was like 14, 13, something like that. That was great. So happy.
Did you ask for it?
No, no, I didn't ask for a gun or a bow. I had a bow, I think. No. Okay. So this is when I first started getting into archery, but I took that bow and we went to the championship. We got like third place too in the state. So I was like, hell yeah, pretty good.
You want to guess what my favorite Christmas prize of all time was?
Oh, it's got to be like G.I. Joe's or something.
I'll tell you how old I was. I'll give you a clue. I was 6 years old, 6 or 7. I think I was 6.
Probably a pack of cigarettes. No. Oh man, it was probably just something dumb, like some kind of I don't know, like bubblegum machine or some kind of candy thing. Something with some kind of cool candy presentation, I want to think.
Well, remember, I wasn't a candy kid. I didn't like candy.
Oh, that's right. You were just naturally fat. No candy.
That's true. I was naturally fat. I wasn't a sweets kid.
I bet you what'd you get? Like maybe some rope or a cool knife, maybe a cool knife or a cool gun.
That's a good gun. That's a good guess. Actually, I got my first pellet gun a year later. That was pretty cool. It's a revolver.
Okay. So next year you got the gun. So
next year,
blades? No blades that year?
No blades. No, I did want a blade though. Yeah, I did want a blade. I didn't get one.
Oh, let's see.
I wanted a buck knife, a brown and gold buck knife, but I didn't get it.
I don't think you were playing sports then, so it's got to be out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like, you were playing sports? Is sports related?
It's not. Well, I mean, I guess technically it could be, but no, it's not sport. It's actually school related.
Oh, wow. Was it a trapper keeper?
No, it wasn't a trapper keeper. Those were
cool. Was it a badass book bag?
No, it wasn't. You have to think before school. Something you would need before school.
Oh, like I don't know if you're in Maryland, like an awesome like ear warmer or toboggan.
A toboggan. No, I'll tell you what it was. My favorite Christmas prize of all time 6 years old, was an alarm clock.
Damn, yeah, that's weird as hell.
Because I wanted to get myself up on my own to go to school.
Oh, damn. How about your mom? But you asked for that?
I did. And the reason why I asked for it wasn't necessarily just the getting up for school part of it, but my brother had an alarm clock and I was mimicking everything my brother was doing. And at night, he would fall asleep to music on his alarm clock. And I thought that was cool. You know what? I might have been older. No, it was about 6 or 7. I had to have been about 6 or 7, but I wanted to fall asleep to music at night because I thought I was a big boy. I was a big man. That's what big dudes did. They played music and they fell asleep with music, you know, I don't think I had a TV in my room at the time, you know? So
I could just see your mom like telling your stepdad, like, he said alarm clock. I'm pretty sure. He'd be like, the kid wants a $10 alarm clock. Fuck it, get it for him. Just the happiest you could ever be.
It wasn't. I mean, I don't know how much it was at the time. It was 80 something or another, but it was badass, man. It had AM FM radio and it lit up and it wasn't digital. That wasn't a thing. I don't think at the time, but it had the numbers that would flip and it'd go, and you'd hear the numbers flip every time. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah. I've seen those.
It was a brown and black alarm clock, and it would, flip every time. And but see, here's the kicker of it, is I tried the music thing, and I didn't like it. It made me sad at night when I'd play the music, so I had to eventually turn it off. I couldn't fall asleep to the music. Still to this day, I can't fall asleep to music. It just, unless I'm drunk, it makes me sad to listen to music at night for whatever reason. And I think it stems from that fucking alarm clock, to be honest with you.
I can see your mom and stepdad in Sears and like, oh, sir, you got a big new promotion. Make sure you get up. Like, no, it's for my stepkid. Like, oh, how old is he? Getting his first job? Like, he's 6. He wants an alarm clock.
It's like, there's a picture that I think I have this picture now. I mean, another thing that I wanted was a terry cloth robe. Because my stepdad, before he became extremely abusive, I kind of mimicked him a little bit. And he always wore a robe. All the time, wore a robe. He had a terry cloth robe. And so I wanted a robe. I didn't have a robe. I thought, again, robe meant big boy stuff. So I got this red and blue. It was blue, like Superman blue with red trim. Looked like a Superman robe, to be honest with you. Had a red tie around it. And there's a picture of me on Christmas Day in my robe and my PJ pants holding this alarm clock with this stuffed bear on top of it. And that's like, I can see the picture now. That was my favorite Christmas, because outside of that, the Christmas was badass. And I think I was around 6 because we had just moved in. My mom had just married this guy. This is the abusive guy, physically, mentally, everything. This guy was a total asshole, and I can't believe he's still alive. This guy should have been dead years ago. I can't wait for him to die. That Christmas was the first Christmas we had money. Prior to that, we were poor, like real poor. Like I had 1 pair of pants and 2 shirts. We were real poor. So this was the first Christmas that we had money. And that Christmas, I woke up and I went down to the den. We had Christmas in the den, and there were all these presents everywhere. And I'm opening up shoe boxes, and in these shoe boxes were filled with G.I. Joe and Star Wars action figures. Every single one of them. Like, there's supposed to have been 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shoe boxes filled with all these action figures. They were all mine. I mean, you talk about a spoiled Christmas. Like, that was way over the top. But out of all that stuff, the alarm clock was my favorite. And that damn bear in the robe. That was it. That was the thing.
Well, I'm glad you had one good Christmas. Glad you had that one that you remember.
Well, I mean, again, I've had some shitty Christmases. There's no doubt about that. Like when I was single and I wasn't talking to my mother, I've spent Christmases in strip clubs. I've spent Christmas Eves at Hooters. I've spent Christmases by myself. It sucks. It really, I hope nobody ever has to go through that. It is a shitty feeling. I'll tell you this. The one thing that I know is if you spend Christmas by yourself, and I've been there and I've done that, the one thing I can promise you that you will know and think of the entire day is when's the next day going to happen?
Yeah.
That's all you think about. When will this day be over? That's all you care about.
Yeah, I think my worst Christmas was right after my parents' divorce, and I'd also broke up with my girlfriend of like a year and a half. So it was just me and my dad at the house, which is ironic because usually my dad wasn't, well, half and half he'd be there because sometimes he had to work, and then that's the worst thing as a kid, waiting until like 7:00 at night on Christmas Day to open presents. Oh, terrible. But no, that was probably the saddest Christmas, but it wasn't a terrible Christmas. It was just a sad Christmas. It was like me and my dad, I broke up with my girlfriend, he got divorced. We're over here just opening presents. And then like, all right, let's go over to my grandma's, his mom's. Let's go eat dinner. Let's go have a sad dinner over there or lunch, open presents over there. And then just pretend like this whole past year hasn't been just a shit show. And then we do that. And then next day, that was great. We're like, hell yeah, let's get to the new year. Brand new.
So you think the saddest Christmas was the Christmas your parents divorced?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Try a Christmas by yourself at a strip club. And on top of that, a bad strip club.
Well, it sounds more fun.
No, it's not, because your head starts playing tricks. Your mind starts playing tricks on you. You're like, my life sucks, but these girls up on stage, their life sucks even more. Then you start feeling bad for them. That's how bad that day was for me. I've been there. I've done it. I don't want to ever do it again. It's not as cool as it might sound.
Yeah, being a stripper on Christmas, man, that you just know that those girls' families just do not care about them whatsoever. They don't have a boyfriend. They don't have a husband. They don't have anything but that dance floor and them titties.
Christmas titties. I bet, I never thought about this, but I bet you, that whole thing of taking the stripper home, I bet you it's probably a lot easier on Christmas.
Oh yeah. They're already sad. They're like, what have I done? What have I done with my life? I don't have no family. I'm just shaking my titties. Yeah.
Especially they have a kid at home, or their mom's watching it and the kid's not getting anything. And you're like, hey, look, let's just spend some time together. We can hit up a Target, go buy your kids I got it. We'll buy your kids some stuff, put a list together, and then we'll go do our thing again. Give me a double header. And then, I don't have to meet your kid, and then go about your business. That's probably the best way to pull that off. If you are in that situation this year, have some fun with it at least.
Yeah. Go to the strip club, take home the stripper.
So this year we have to, figure out where we're putting everything. I went to TJ Maxx, loaded up on Christmas candles. This weekend, by the way, is the big Bath and Body Works Christmas sale, the 3 wicks for $5. So Rach and I are going to go and stand in line, because you only get a certain amount per person. You load up on them throughout the entire year. It's like a big to-do, and you got to have those smells. But I went to TJ Maxx. I'm like, give me Christmas stuff. I'm buying smelly stuff. The smells are important. So Rach ended up putting the Christmas tree up. I didn't even know she was doing it. She puts the Christmas tree up, and I see it in the new house. You got to find a spot. House in California, we didn't really have a spot for the Christmas tree. Probably has a lot to do with people in California are heathens. They're all atheists, and they build their houses as such. So this house, I think we found a good spot. It's the best spot. It's really the only spot, So we got the Christmas tree up, starting to feel a little bit like Christmas. We got some cold weather in Florida. That's nice. Gives it a little nice extra touch to the Christmas stuff. I got to go hunt for the things, get the smelly things, start buying people some prizes. I've already started. This year it's a little different as far as money-wise goes, but we'll make it through, and we'll rock and roll. But we're just so busy. Again, I always go back to being busy, with the podcast, and I'm working on some other projects, and, my new professional poker career. Of course, we've got a live ozone therapy spa, and so it's just a different world this year. I got to tell you, it's just a different world.
Well, yeah, it's just that's how I always think about it. It's like, it's just another day, really. It's like, you still got to get up and do your daily duties and your job. Like, it could be the middle of February, it could be December. Like, you still got to do what you got to do. And it's just, I think when you get older, you just realize that. And it's just the seasons don't really matter that much. Like, it could be summer, it could be winter, it could be fall, it could be spring. I still got to wake up. I got to go to work. I got to make money so I can survive.
Yeah, but the other thing about Christmas too, when you have a corporate job like I've had forever, right, is that you get the vacation. The
and the bonus.
Not
Some places do bonuses. Like I'm looking for my boss to give me a bonus. Like BT backflows and irrigation, that motherfucker ain't handing out no bonuses. That bastard.
Well, you got to give yourself a little extra cash this year.
I know, right? But then I'm like, oh no, that employee, he ain't getting shit. The company needs it.
Right. That's how I feel too. I'd like to give myself a bonus too. If any extra sponsor would like to jump on before Christmas, you would be my bonus. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you now. I appreciate that. But like the corporate world, like in radio, for example, we would always take 2 weeks off. Last year when I was in California working for that dick, he was like, you're taking 2 weeks off. I'm like, yeah, I've always taken 2 weeks off. They want you to work through it, especially when you have a new show. And I've always, for the most part, done that. I did that my first year in Atlanta. The guy I worked with in Atlanta didn't understand it. And then it was beneficial and it was a good move for the show and our part. When it's all said and done, is it worth it? No, because you get screwed anyway in the long run because nobody's loyal.
Well, I guess though, if you're a new show though, and like you're the only live show on in the area, people are driving around to get Christmas shit, buy things, pick kids up, take them over here. Might have some people and might be the only live show on.
I subscribe to that theory, and I did, and I've done that my whole career. Last year, I did not. I stuck to my guns, and I took time off because it was Christmas, and so. But it was weird because in California they don't give you vacation days. You can just take days off whenever you want and stay out as long as you want. They can't question it.
Yeah, but I thought vacation was paid.
It is, but you just tell them when you're taking off. You don't have to give them a reason because they're all into the mental health stuff. So they can't question it. So you can take off, you can take off a month if you want, and they can't fire.
Paid?
That's paid. Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to go to California, give me a job. I don't figure it out.
The work situation in California, especially if you work for the state, you work for the state of California. If you work for the state of California for 5 years, you will get a pension afterwards. 5 years. 5 years.
That's crazy.
5 years. So the morning show that they fired before me, that was a heritage show in the market. I guess the host of the show was a mental case, a narcissistic mental case. And he would take months off at a time. And I guess his audience, for the most part, they'd beat him up on social media, but they didn't care. It was a weird situation. And, before they hired me, they were telling me about this. I thought that was nuts. I'm like, why would you not want to work? Especially in this business. Like, I love what I do. I couldn't take a month off just to take a month off. I guess he had an alcohol problem. His wife would beat him and all kinds of weird shit was going on with this dude from what I heard. I cannot confirm nor deny. This is just what the guy I worked for told me. And so he would take off months at a time. So when they hired me to do afternoons, the morning show guy would do the same thing. He'd just take off months at a time. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. Like, put music on if you want. I mean, like, it's your radio station. They couldn't do anything about it. And I'm like, this guy's either the morning show guy's like, he's a really smart or really stupid. I can't figure it out. But just to take off that time and get paid, and he was getting paid pretty good money. I mean, he was making like, he was making really good money, especially for that.
If the California system gives it to you might as well do it. The state's so screwed up anyway. If they're gonna give it to you might as well take it.
Well, nobody in that state wants to work. That's the problem. When you have that type of ruling, like you can do those things, they're lazy. There's so many I worked with so many lazy people. They wouldn't come to work. They wouldn't do work. They would take off from work. They would demand things without any status. It was nuts to see. It was mind blowing.
It sounds like I'll just get a job over there, a decent job, never go in, and then I'm just going to go steal $998 worth of stuff from a store every single day, not get prosecuted for it. My house will be furnished. I got a job that I don't have to work. That would be great, man. On the beach. I work my way right up into Malibu somehow.
That's the state of California for you. Yeah. And then finally
go rob our stores.
And then finally get a job with the state of California and work there for 5 years and get a pension afterwards.
Yeah. That's the game plan. I think we can do it.
Yeah. Other than having to pay $5 a gallon for gas and, $20 for eggs, if you can make it work, make it work. It'd be a good thing for you. So anyway, I'll get into the Christmas spirit. I'll figure it out. Anybody has any suggestions, feel free to post on any of the social media at Listen to the BS. Chuck didn't join us on this episode. This is kind of right up his alley too. Because he's a Michigan, like University of Michigan fan. I was going to bring up the college football fights from this past weekend.
It's kind of funny. He hadn't mentioned Michigan all year. And then I saw him posting on Facebook about Michigan. Like, you beat Ohio State. Come on now.
Well, they're ranked, what, number 2, right?
Yeah, but you see how Miami fall, too. They're fucking frauds as well.
Yeah. The playoffs going to be
Frauds.
very interesting. I hope Boise State takes it all.
I hope they lose. I hope Travis Hunter gets the Heisman. Fuck Ashton Jaunty, whatever his name is. He's a good player, good running back. I think he's great. But Travis Hunter, you ain't seen anybody like him since what, Champ Bailey, maybe? And he's still not putting up better numbers than Champ Bailey was. So
I was going to bring up the fights. So there were two different big like fights. Like, I mean, historically big fights in college football. One being the Michigan-Ohio State game, which that would be number 1. Then there was another one. I forget what the two smaller schools. There was a fight, and they both were around the players from the winning team planting the flag carrying the flag to the middle of the field. They didn't plant it.
The big ones I remember was Michigan, Ohio State. You got Florida, FSU, and then you had, it was Arizona State, Arizona, I believe. Or maybe it was Nebraska. One of them had whoever had the Paul Bunyan axe. I knew that was a big one. And then you had Florida planting their shit in Florida State's field. And then you had Michigan on Ohio State's field. But did you see Texas and Texas A&M?
Yeah. Well, did they have a fight?
No. The Texas player started running out to the A&M, midfield, started stomping, wanted to stomp on their logo and whatnot. Sarkisian said, "Get the fuck back! Get the fuck back! Get back!" Same thing when Alabama, when Saban was still there, beat the Horns by 1 point, and all the players are doing horns down. He's like, "Cut that fucking shit out!" He's like about to have an aneurysm on the field, running across. He's like, "You cut that shit out, you fucking idiots!" But Sarkisian is pretty much doing the same thing, like, hey, look, we played like shit against A&M. There ain't no reason you deserve to stomp on their logo. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of these teams took the flag and planted it like the FSU Indian throws the spear down. Like, they just took the flag and ran around like they won.
I believe Michigan did plant their flag.
I'm almost positive
they did.
I'm almost positive, and that's the one I'm talking about. I'm almost positive they did not. And the guy, the player had the Michigan flag. He ran, all the players are in the middle of the field, and he runs around the players, and then he runs through the middle of the sea of both Michigan and Ohio State players. And one of the Ohio State players, as the guy was running, grabs the flag and rips it from him. And then that's what caused the brawl. I'm almost positive that's what happened.
That's just as bad as planting the flag. I mean, he had nowhere to plant the flag. Everyone's out there on the field. So he's like, I'm going to run through the middle and get my guys fired up and get Ohio State pissed off just to incite a fight. I think they knew what they were doing. I mean, that if you're antagonizing them, if you bring your home flag out and you're at an away stadium and you win, like every team that beat the home team did, I mean, that's just it's the same thing. But like, he's not going to put it in the middle of the field if all the players are fighting there. It's like, let me run through here. Let me amp my players up and piss Ohio State off.
See, I'm a big fan of respect, right? The Terrell Owens taking the football, putting it on the star, that kind of thing. Disrespectful. He had every right to get trucked, in which he did. Right? If you remember that back in the day. The Michigan guy didn't plant. If he planted the flag, that would have been different. That would have been like, hey, screw you. I'm doing this to antagonize you. There is no problem. If you win that football game or a football game, I don't care what teams they are, and you're showing your colors and you're proud of your win and your fans are at that game, to run around with your flag. No problem at all. Now,
no problem with that. No, if you just run around with the flag, no problem.
That's what the guy was doing. He's running around. So that,
he's running through players.
The players were dispersing at the time. He wasn't running into them. He was running around them. I mean, he did go through the sea of them, but the sea was open. Like, he was wiggling his way through it. to me didn't look like he was antagonizing them. And so when I see the Ohio State guy, like he went out of his way to grab the flag and rip it. That to me is whiny, and that's to the point. The point of the story is like you saw that a lot. It was rivalry week with, college football. I don't think these kids have the thick enough skin to handle a loss. And a lot of that, you go to the NIL stuff, is they're being pampered, they're being babied, they're being put up on these pedestals. I just don't think they have thick skin.
I don't think that's a problem because, first off, if you're storming the field against any team and you're not winning the national championship, that's not the national championship game. I think you look kind of stupid. Like Michigan beats Ohio State. Okay, you're 6-5 or 5-6. Now you're 6-6. You're not getting to the playoffs. Ohio State's still probably going to get in the playoffs. What you did is really nothing. Nothing happened. Or when you see back in the day when teams would beat Bama, they would rip the goalpost. They did it this season. They ripped the goalpost down like, holy shit, we beat Bama. Like, yeah, this is the worst Bama team you've played in years. But with a team like Georgia, who went into 8 overtimes, did you see anybody storming the field, ripping the goalpost down? Nothing like that. That was a good head-to-head match, and no one stormed the field either or. And I'll give it to Georgia Tech. I don't think they would have been disrespectful if they would have won. Now, their head coach probably would have, but I don't know about the team.
Yeah, well, did you see Kirby Smart put over the Georgia Tech head coach?
Well, because that dude was about to shoot up the place. Did you see how mad he was in the damn post-game conference, dude? That dude, that is the most pissed off I think I've ever seen a head coach in college football ever. I mean, I've seen Saban and I've seen Kirby lose some games, big games, pissed off, but to see Georgia Tech's head coach Brent Key, I mean, he was seething with anger. It would take him a couple seconds to answer a question. Like I could just see him about to just explode, and I could understand his fury, man. I mean, that was a long game. I thought I was going to have a heart attack the entire game, dude. The whole 5 hours of the game. Okay,
so you just went back on what you were saying before. So, like, if you're not going to win the national championship, why are you celebrating? Rivalry week is different. If you're not going to go to the playoffs and you're not the one thing every single team says to each other, their coach says their place, if you're going to win one game this season, you win it against fill in the blank, whoever that rivalry team is. That's what they'll tell you.
Well, I'm saying I'm not going back. I'm saying like when it comes to storming the field and stuff. And for Georgia, this game did mean something because if they didn't win that game, then they had to win the SEC championship game. But since they won this Georgia Tech game, they don't necessarily have to win the SEC championship game to get in the playoffs. So it would have been a whole different look next Saturday or this coming Saturday if they wouldn't have won, and they would have put a lot more pressure on them. Now, if they win SEC championship game, it just makes them look a lot better. But either way, they're in. So it was a big game. It was technically a playoff game for them, I'd say.
Okay, that's for Georgia. I'm talking about Georgia Tech. You're talking about their head coach. There's video of after the game, the Georgia Tech head coach on the field just staring at the scoreboard.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia Tech, they're not winning national championship. They're not going to the playoffs. But if the one game that they want to win, the one game, even if they lost every other game, their season would be made if they beat Georgia.
Oh, it would have. Yeah, they're in a top echelon of teams, including Georgia, Ohio State, and Ohio State and someone else they're the only 4 teams that have faced 3 top 10 contenders this year. So Georgia Tech had a great schedule, and they beat Miami, which was a great win for them. And they beat another top 10 team, and then they faced Georgia, but they couldn't get it done. But they had a stellar season. But I get it meant a lot more to Georgia Tech than it did Georgia.
It's obviously national championship or playoffs, national championship. That's the end game, but that's the less than 1%, right? If you're not going to win, by now you definitely know you're not going to win. You want to win one game. That's the rivalry game. That's the one game. Auburn, it's going to be Alabama, right? And, and Georgia, or Alabama for Auburn, Georgia Tech, and Alabama. They kind of mix and match. But the rivalry is Alabama-Auburn, right? For the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
And then you have Georgia Tech. That's the rivalry game. The
old-fashioned hate.
Yeah, just the rivalry stuff. It's kind of like what Florida-Georgia used to be. If you win one game, now obviously there's a lot on the line there because they're both SEC schools, but there's my point is Michigan had every right to fly that flag, every right to fly it. And I don't think they did it disrespectfully. If they would have gone out and they all gathered around and they poked and did, and then they were taunting and all that stuff, totally different story. I don't think they did. Dude just running around the flag. The Ohio State guy grabbed it. Again, my point is the thin skin of a younger generation. That's what I think it is. I don't like, what were you thinking? You lost the game. You should have beat them by 4 touchdowns. You're ranked, number 2 in the country or whatever you are, should have destroyed them. You didn't. You lost. Hey, we lost. You were the better team. Celebrate, enjoy. Don't be a dick. You're not being a dick. That's cool. I'm going back. I'm going to lick my wounds. That's how you do it. You got to be, if you're going to be a good winner, you got to be a good loser.
Well, I think it's not necessarily. I think it's the program, honestly, the way they're conducted. Because, like you said, you see teams that don't act like that. They hold themselves to a higher standard. But when you do have, now you have NIL, and I think transfer portal is worse than the NIL, because now if let's say Kirby Smart yells at a player for doing something stupid, he might be a star player and he might get his feelings hurt and be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go transfer and I'll be playing in another school start of the next year." That's a problem. If you can't take that criticism and you go somewhere else, I think that's a problem. And I think that's why the transfer portal more than NIL is fucking up. Because back in the day, you get, what was it, 1 transfer per time you were in college and you had to sit out that year you transferred. Yeah, now they just let you transfer willy-nilly. It's like, oh, you want to transfer twice this year? Go ahead, transfer. You want to play next year? Sure. Transfer the last day, come on in. I just think they're going to have to get something in with the NIL. And it's one thing if you say, you get someone coming out of high school and you're getting a quarterback and you're saying, all right, I'm going to pay you this much money. Come here. All right, he's there. Now, if he wants to transfer, he can, but he's got to sit out the next year is what I think the rule should be. I think that bring back the old transfer rules, because it's just screwing college football up.
Yeah. There was a game, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think it was Houston. And one of the receivers on, I want to say Houston, he goes after his own guy on the sideline. And he just lit this guy up. I mean, he came off the field to the other dude and just boom in his chest and lifted him. I never heard the end of the story or what the story was about, but he just lit that dude up. I was like, God, man, these guys are very upset.
Yeah,
very
rough.
Very.
What are you thinking about the Heisman winner? Vegas has got Travis favored to win it heavily now. Do you think he deserves it?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm
Really?
not a big college football guy, to be honest.
I love it.
If there's not like a storyline, like the fighting's a storyline, I just, and I'm done,
That's the best. Colorado's the best storyline ever out of college football. They go from 1-11 to now they're 9-3 this year. They got Deion Sanders just last game threw for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
But it's a work. I mean, Deion's gone after this year. I mean, he's just,
he's staying.
He's going to go take a head coaching job where his kid gets drafted. Absolutely.
No, he's not. Why would he do that?
Because he's Deion Sanders. The guy's a hustler. And he wants to, I mean, like, look, I know it sounds like kind of a dick thing to say, but I guess if I were him, I would do the same thing. Like if I had the chance to coach my all-star son in college, going from, what was it, a JUCO school to Colorado, or what was it, Jacksonville State, whatever.
Yeah, Jacksonville State, then now Colorado.
And then see what he's done at that program. And you're Deion Sanders too, one of the best football players ever to play the game, athletes to play the game, that and baseball, right? So you do that, and then you can go into the NFL and coach one of 32 jobs that are available and coach your son in the NFL. That's kind of cool. Little nepotism, but that's kind of cool.
No one's going to take him though, is the problem. They're not, because the way Coach Prime came into Colorado and just took it over. I mean, he revamped the whole program. He turned it into, Prime. It's Prime Colorado is what it is. No NFL organization is going to let him come in and be him and do what he wants to do. They're just not going to let him do it. They will not. The only one they got, maybe Jerry Jones. He might be like, oh shit, let's get Deion in here. But he's not going to. First off, Dallas isn't going to get the first pick. I mean, they're probably not going to. They just hit. I don't know why they're still trying to win games. They should just tank all their games. They just won against the Giants the other day. That's just hurting their draft stock. I mean, you've got what, Shador, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, and Carson Beck are probably the top 4 quarterbacks going. I don't see Cowboys getting a quarterback, and I don't see them picking a quarterback up when they still got a $280 million ticket on what's his name, Dak, that's hurt for the rest of the season.
Deion is putting asses in seats. There's more to the game. If you can put asses in seats and you can sell merch, you're selling tickets, that and you have somebody that can actually coach, and you have a guy that played for your team and is a Hall of Famer. I mean, you put those pieces together, somebody's going to offer him a job. It might not be Dallas because they have Dak, but Vegas, Jets, you have, I mean,
yeah, but I just feel like Deion's the person to be like, no, I don't want to do that. Like he said, I watched a lot of interviews with Deion, all his press conferences, everything with Colorado, and he said multiple times again, said, I'm not following my sons. My sons have got to go out there and do it. I've trained them here. They're Heisman people. They can go out there and do it. Why? I mean, he can't follow. What's he going to do? Follow Travis, Shador, and Shiloh to each? I mean, it just makes no sense for him. Why he wouldn't stay at Colorado and show, hey, we got 21 seniors going in. Look at all these people that got drafted that are going in the NFL. Why would he want to go in there when he can become a Nick Saban technically in Colorado? Because when Nick Saban went to Miami, he did terrible. He fucking hated it. And then he comes back to Alabama and dominates college football for the past 10 years. Yeah, but I don't see what benefit it is for Deion to go to the NFL.
Because he's a dad. If he can go in and coach his son as a dad and also be an NFL coach versus staying at the who cares? I mean, okay, so you have a good run at the University of Colorado. Who cares? But if he's able to go and coach, do you know how much money can be made with a father as a coach in the NFL and his son is your quarterback and you're playing for an NFL team? Oh my God.
It doesn't matter when they go 2-11 because you got Deion in there. I don't think Deion can coach at the NFL level. I don't think, because the way he relates with, he's a father figure and he gives kids hope. But when you're trying to train grown men, they don't give a shit about you. They really don't. That's why going back to the Saban thing, you look at Saban. He's at LSU. Everything's going good. They're winning. He goes up to whatever that college is in the north for a little while, and then he goes down to Miami. Season. Terrible season. Goes back to college, dominates because he can mold these kids and influence them better than he can NFL players.
I understand. But the guys that are on NFL teams to the coaches are kids. How many times have you heard, especially when they get drafted, and they're then molded into a great NFL player? I've heard interviews with guys that are in their late 30s, early 40s that are playing in the NFL that talk about their coach like they're gods or their dads. Look at Coach Tomlin, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. His players love him because he's a father figure to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't be that figure. I'm just saying when you're in coaching college, you're coaching 17 to 23-year-olds for the most part. And when you're in the NFL, you're probably coaching 23 to up to 40. 40 is probably the max right there. But that's a long span, and these people, it's more of a business at that point. But in college,
now that you're making
millions. Now it is more of a business in college, but it's less of a business because if you don't get playing time somewhere at a good school that's getting national recognition, you're not making it into the NFL. You're not having that high draft stock. People aren't talking about you. Now, the college is a business now a lot more than it used to be when it comes to players making decisions.
I'll bet you $5 that Deion Sanders follows his kid into the NFL.
Follows who? Shador?
Yeah.
He's going to follow. So where Shador gets drafted, you're saying he's going to get a coaching position there.
Yep.
$5. All right. I'll take you up on that. I don't think he is. I don't think he will.
$5.
Are we talking about this year?
Well, yeah, next year. Yeah.
Okay. So the 2025 season, Deion will be wherever Shador is what you're saying.
Yes. Absolutely. It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
I mean, but it doesn't.
That was the whole plan. He started at the small school, right? And then they go to the big school. It's all strategy. and it's all about money. And it's all about, being together and father, son, but the money is the most important thing out of all of it. They'll be able to make so much more money. To look at LeBron. All right. His kid could have been drafted by anybody, right? But he got drafted by the Lakers. Why? I'm sure LeBron had a lot to do with that. It's, but LeBron sent him down to the D League. I don't know shit about basketball, but he sent him down. But when he comes up and they're playing together on the same team at the same time, do you know how much money that is for people to go out there and see that? People want to go, I was there before LeBron James retired, and I got to see him play with his son, thinking that his son's going to be the next LeBron James, and which he could be. Who knows? You know what I mean? That's a storyline. That's money. That's money to be made. There's something to be said about that.
But Deion, he likes the power. I think think he likes the freedom to do. Everyone can say this. Ever since you watched Deion, he likes to be who he is and say what he wants and does what he wants. If he goes to the NFL organization, he's got to abide by NFL rules and the commissioner and shit like that. And I don't think he wants that. I think he owns Colorado. He owns that state. He owns that school. When you bring up Prime, Colorado just loves him. They love what he's doing there. And I don't see why he would take that and sacrifice that, going from a 9-3 year to following his son in the NFL, which I hope to God he doesn't start. I don't know why we're starting all these rookies all the time. And he would have to sit a year anyway, and he'd be head coaching. I mean, who's looking for the Bears? But they got Caleb Williams.
I can answer that question too. I don't agree with it either. I think that, rookies should, unless you have very rarely, the Andrew Lucks of the world and stuff like that are able to come out of college and play. But it's all about money. You have those rookie contracts. You need to see what they can do, and if they can do anything for you right now with the little money that you're paying them, so you can decide whether you have to pay them when that deal is up. It's all about money. Everything's about money. It's all about money. Everything's money. Everything's money and power.
That's all. I just don't see him go. I don't see why it would benefit him or Shador for him to go to the NFL. I just don't see how it would.
All right,
doesn't make any sense.
For those listening, remember I said that. That's the bet. $5.
$5. That
$5.
Deion follows Shador into the NFL in the 2025 season. I don't think he will.
Or vice versa.
What?
Or Deion gets the job.
Oh, Shador goes there.
And they find, I mean, you can find a way to draft anybody anywhere depending on what you want to give up.
I say, we'll give up the first 4 round picks for the next 4 years if you just let me get my son over here, please.
I mean, when is he supposed? He's not a number 1 draft pick, is he?
He's top 5.
Okay, top 5. Cowboys are where? Top 10?
Probably. Yeah, top 10 probably. I mean, you got the Browns that are probably the Panthers. They about want one on Sunday. They choked that, so I mean, they're probably 6th, 7th, I would think.
Well, that's the Cowboys. I mean, the Jets, obviously, who needs a quarterback? Jets, Raiders,
Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence just got taken out. I don't know how he is. He got carted off and taken to a hospital. I don't know how he is.
Yeah, but if he's fine, he's just signed that big deal this year, so he's not going anywhere. The Rams are going to look for a quarterback. Stafford's
really
nearing the end. Yeah.
They're not going to go with Bennett.
No, they're actually allegedly. The rumor is they draft Beck. Georgia ties. So
really, they have 3 Georgia quarterbacks in their
Stafford influence. That's a Stafford influence.
I mean, he won them a Super Bowl, right? So
yeah. So I mean, those are the 2 big teams, right? Raiders and the Jets that need quarterbacks. Can you imagine Deion and New
Giants,
York?
dude? Giants are struggling.
Giants.
I don't know. See, I don't know if he said something though. I saw somewhere he did not want Shador going to the Giants, something like that.
Yeah, you got the Giants.
I don't know, man. I just don't see him going to coach. It just it does, but it doesn't, because he's only going to be there while Shador's there, and then if shit starts falling apart while Shador's there, then it's going to look bad on Deion. It's just bad press, and if he just stays at Colorado, just looks real good. I mean, have you seen all the stats? I mean, the man's raising home values in that area. He's brought $10 million into people buying homes there. I mean, the prime effect is crazy.
That's pretty badass when you can say that you yourself raised home values. That's
and they went from like 270,000 followers on social media to like 3.5, and jersey sales are up like 505%. Merchandise. I mean, it's insane. The first year people thought he was a hoax. Last year I think they went like 5-6, something dumb like that. Now they're 9-3.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it's about, you're thinking too much football wise. You got to think money wise.
Well, I'm thinking that's how Deion's thinking. I'm thinking that's how he's thinking, football wise.
That dude's thinking money, dude. I promise you, that dude is all about money. I've interviewed that guy numerous times. I can tell you, he is all about. All those guys are. They're hustlers. It is all about money and power. That's all it's about.
Yeah, but what do you think? I'm just thinking college, he convinced him, be like, look, I just took you from 1-11 to 1-11 to 9-3 in my second year here. Give me some more money. I can get some more people and we get it in here. I feel like he can convince Colorado to get more money.
Would you rather be a coach, University of Colorado, or would you rather be an NFL coach? I mean, that's really,
I'd rather be honestly a college football coach. If I'm at a decent school, it's more fun, more energetic. You got kids that are really wanting to play and fight hard a lot more, I'd say, than NFL. You got your head guys NFL, they might be like, oh shit, man, I'm just trying not to blow out my knee right here so I can play to the end of the season and get my bonus or something. There's
we'll see. Well, I'm
okay.
just
all right. You get me all amped up over here. I'm very passionate about college football.
You're talking in circles. We'll see. We got $5 on the line, and we'll know sooner than later. And if I lose, I'll give you your $5, but I don't think I'm going to lose. I almost promise you I'm not going to lose. I just got a text from my wife. Hey, you remember that girl I told you about with the mold exposure?
Yeah. Oh, don't tell me she died.
No, she didn't.
Oh, that'd be bad.
I just got an update, like literally as we're doing this episode. All of the mold is pretty much gone.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, look at that. Can you
titties? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, damn. Yeah, that looks. I remember I saw you post the update picture or the pictures a couple days ago. And yeah, that's a lot clearer.
Isn't that amazing? This is after 3 ozone therapy sessions.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a testimony if I've ever seen one.
And you can't even see it. You can't even see it now. Like, that is crazy. And she's got an autoimmune disease as well, which is not helping anything out. But this girl, in case you don't know the story, this girl is a friend, an employee of a friend of mine. And he comes to me and he says, and he knows what ozone therapy does. He knows what we do. He believes in it and he's familiar with it. He's educated on it. And he says, he goes, look, I need a favor. I said, what? He goes, I've got this employee. She hasn't been to work for 3 weeks. She's been exposed to mold. It's all over her body, from her neck down to her privates. Huge, bright, angry red blotches. This mold, this fungus, is taking over her body. She can't come to work. She feels disgusting. She thinks she looks disgusting. She doesn't look great, obviously. Nobody wants to look like that. It's affecting her life. She's depressed. Do you think you can get her in for ozone therapy in the Hockett sauna? Absolutely. Send her over. First session, and I posted 2 of these pictures, and I'm going to post some more this week. First session, when she was done, hours later, those red blotches went to a light brown. I think this is 3 sessions later.
You gotta have the 4 pictures, like no session 1, 2, 3. You gotta put the days later too.
Yeah. So and now updated, it's gone. And mold exposure, like, again, and I said this before, I didn't know mold exposure was a thing. Like, it is a thing. I don't know if it's a Florida thing or what, but like these people, and it's women that get exposed to mold seem to have more issues because of their body makeup than men. And they can't, and it just takes over the body. It's horrible. But ozone kills bacteria and fungus. That's what ozone does. Think about a restoration place that goes into your house to kill black mold. They quarantine it off. They got the hazmat suits. That's not what we are using ozone, but just not to that extent. So it's the same concept of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like, so what, she went from like never coming in. I saw the pictures, the blotches were bad. And so that was probably 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we talked about that when she first came in. So in 3 weeks, 3 sessions.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Is it better? I know. Is it better that she did one and what did she wait, like 5 days and came back and did another one, then waited 5 days and came back?
I don't know what her schedule was. I got to figure that out. Rach was handling all this.
If you get to document this,
she she could have come in every day. You can do ozone therapy every day.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Would it have done the same thing if she would have came in 3 days in a row, or was it a good idea that she had one, waited a little while, came back in, waited, like let the ozone effect still kind of work over the next few days and then come back in, or if she would have went boom, 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 3 days in a row, would have done the same?
I would probably say it was good that she put some days in between because, we tell people when you're done, the ozone therapy, again, this way, not ozone therapy with needles or blood draw, totally different way of doing ozone therapy. This is through the Hocket sauna where the ozone is released in the sauna after your pores are opened via steam and carbon dioxide, CO2 making carbonic acid that opens up your pores. Anyway, when you're done, like we told Chuck, don't shower right away because you want the ozone to stay on your skin and continue to work. So it was probably good for her to take a little time in between and just let it continue to work. Kind of like when you take something off the grill, you don't want to cut it right away because it's still
let it rest.
Yeah, you got to let it rest.
Yeah.
Wrap it in some butcher paper. You put it in the oven, let it rest. Kind of the same thing. I'm assuming. Kind of the same thing. So
yeah, you also definitely document it. Like get her witness and be like, all right, what kind of mold were you exposed to? And then have the pictures and be like, well, this was after 3 sessions gone. Yeah. So now, is this a thing that is she out of the mold situation, or is she still with the mold situation? She's going to have to keep coming back.
I don't know. I just got the pictures. I don't know. She just said, here's the latest. I don't know what her doctors told her. So, but her doctors, before she came to see us, her doctors were prescribing her pills and cream, and none of it worked. None of it.
Well, that'd be good if you can get in that doctor's office. Be like, look, I helped your patient. Can you send me over? Be like, nah, we want to make some money off this medicine. We don't want to be sending you. That's $3,000 I'm not getting a week, baby. Hell no, I ain't send them over to you.
Doctors are not going to be our the old school doctors. Or some of them
they're going to turn it down. They're going to call it pseudoscience. Be like, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
A lot of the big farm people. I met a guy that actually works for a pharmaceutical company, and I was telling him what we were doing, and he just hated the conversation. He just it was because
it's his job disappearing, money, dollars out of their pockets.
Right. And that's not what we're trying to do. Like, we'll never tell someone instead of do this. We'll never say that. We'll tell them while you are doing that, you should try this. Yeah, you should try this. So you could do both. Like we've got cancer patients. We're not telling them don't stop taking chemotherapy and just do ozone therapy. We're telling them do ozone therapy on top of your chemotherapy. Just to help out, so we would never tell somebody to stop doing it. But these doctors, they're missing a copay. They're missing a this pay. They're missing a that pay. They don't want you to think that there are alternatives out there. And it's very hard, especially for the older generation, to think that there are alternatives until it comes down to the point where what they've been doing is not working and they get desperate and they start looking for alternatives. And that's when you start to get scammed by people.
Yeah.
Because you're desperate to survive.
A lot of the people, they spent a lot. These medicines are, thousands and thousands of dollars over a course of however long you got to take them. And half the time it just makes you feel like shit. And like the side effects are worse than what it's supposed to be treating. And sometimes they don't even treat it. So, that's probably definitely why these companies are like, oh no. There's no such thing as a machine you can hop or a sauna you can hop in and fix things. That's just genie magic. Take these pills here, keep buying these pills.
I've known numerous people that have been in pharmaceutical sales, and they've told me, that they would, their marching orders are get people hooked on these pills, to think that they have to have these pills. And because, they're not paying for it, insurance is paying for it. So, but we're getting billions of dollars as long as they're hooked on these pills and don't think that there's anything else out there that can help them. So I really think this next 4 years is going to be very, very interesting in this field. I'm not talking about all the other politics out there. I'm talking about in the health field, the health and wellness field. You're starting to see a trend, a very good trend of people understanding that there's alternatives that work, that you can try with no side effects. When I talk about ozone therapy at our spa, Live Ozone Therapy Spa in Altamont Springs, Florida, it's non-invasive. You've got nothing to lose. There's no side effects. There's no symptoms. You know, it's literally a sauna that you go in and enjoy yourself. And it can help with, like our friend with the mold exposure, you know, with my friend that was having sleep apnea, my friend with COVID that came in and now can actually breathe after one session. He can actually breathe, take that deep, that rollover breath. He hasn't been able to do that for 4 years. And he did one 30-minute session, and he can not only do that, but he can yawn again because of
That's
ozone
nice.
therapy. Yeah, pretty cool.
Dude, we got to get I'm gonna hit my contact up that's in the Trump administration. He kind of hangs out with him, kind of knows him. Might have to get RFK on here to get him on board with this.
No, you want to know who my dream interview would be for the show is Gary Brecka.
Oh, yeah, we talked about him, Brecka, yeah.
Gary Brecka is like the industry leader for the things that we're doing. He's got millions and millions of followers. Rogan talks about him all the time. But he talks about, if you follow Gary Brecka on social media, he talks about ozone therapy. He talks about red light therapy, all the different therapies, chromotherapy and all these different things. And people like that are getting the word out. RFK talking about our food and the process and how over processed our food is and how nobody else in the world is doing it but us, you know, and how it's killing us and it's killing our kids. We just haven't had a strong enough person to stand up and say, dude, this is wrong. Call me crazy, but here are the facts. Now prove me wrong with the facts. Prove me wrong with the facts. Like with ozone therapy, right? Somebody prove me wrong that this just didn't save this woman's life.
Hey, you better watch out now. You're gonna be taking a bullet with Kennedy this go around. They'll be like, we got to take him out, man. He's talking too much. He's costing us money.
The best
way.
No,
you get that story out there about that lady and how quickly that disappeared in 3 sessions. That's going to stir some buzz for sure.
Right? I mean, like I'm not trying to look at you, doctor. You know, this non-doctor, you know, did something you couldn't do. All I'm saying is, hey, look, this is great. We were able to help somebody. It's unfortunate that didn't work, but it's fortunate that this did work. Like, who else can we help? That's all we're saying.
Well, sadly, the doctors aren't looking at it like that. They're like, oh, these people are, you know, right now you're probably in their radar, but they're like, they just started, you know, but they're definitely like, oh, this is costing us in the area, especially those doctors.
I've got to put together a story with her and get her to explain it and all that good stuff. And really get, cause I'll tell you what, I boosted the post of her, you know, just the 2 pictures. And I boosted it on Facebook, and it's got like 20,000+ impressions.
Damn. Yeah, you gotta do like a documentary style, just like a 10-minute one where you like sit her down at ozone and just have the camera rolling, and you just like ask her questions like you normally do, but it's just on her, you know. And then you just add pictures and stuff over top of it and explain what's going on. Just a little quick YouTube video to explain what it's doing and how it's helped someone. I think that would definitely help out.
Yeah,
like a quick 5 to 10 minute video.
I got to do something bigger than just post the pictures, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she came in, sat her down, you know, just get some good lighting, get a camera, and basically those, you know, where you just sit behind the camera, you just ask questions and get her to talk about her story, and then have the pictures on screen and the ozone, you know, where you're at, what you're doing, show a video of her in the Hocket sauna, so that way people just got a visual and kind of understand, and then, you know, show the pictures and everything and whatnot, and then she show how it's, you know, gone now in the video. I think that'd be good. Then you have a good marketable video as well on top of it being on YouTube.
Yeah, that's good.
And you could do it. You could label it how I cured my plaque psoriasis or whatever she had, whatever disease she had. How I cured my mold infection.
My vaginal mash or whatever those commercials are.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for this girl. Like that's one of the big reasons why we opened this place. You know, I'm not just investing all this money into a possibility. I know the benefits. I saw it. I mean, I've seen it. I believe in it. I'm passionate about it. And it's funny when I explain it to people, just people don't know me like that. They don't think that I'm passionate about anything but this. They don't realize that I do other things. And so, like it's, you know.
Oh, you know what? I just thought you should go around to mold companies in the area. Just like tell them about you. But hey, if any of your customers, you know, they give maybe give them a 10% off if they use that business and y'all work out some kind of deal. But these homes that have mold in them, maybe, you know, people in that home have these problems. It'd be like, hey, look, we had this lady, same problem, 3 sessions, she was cleared up. So that might be a good couple companies to reach out to.
That's a very good idea. That is
Do a little collab with them somehow.
really, really good idea. Really, really good idea. That's a very good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, but I say if you know if they're dealing with mold people every day, and they'd be like, I don't know, man. I guess just go to the doctor. You know, we're going to clear the mold out, but we're not doctors. We don't know where to tell you to go. But if they're like, oh, this dude showed me some pictures and it really worked out great for this girl, head over there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll reach out. I'm calling mold companies this week. I guess that's what I'm doing. All right. Let's do a couple Livin Rent frees. I got two that I'm going to read because they're really, really short. And Branden has been very critical, but we are into the last couple weeks of this promotion. I want to pay your month rent or mortgage for December to help you pay for other things. If I'm living rent-free in people's minds, there's no reason why you shouldn't live rent-free in real life. That's the tagline. Thanks to Inspect All Pest Services and InspectAllServices.com. Nick and his crew, if you are in the metro Atlanta surrounding areas and you're looking for the best in pest control, also home services, gutter cleaning, insulation, InspectAllServices.com. They do it all and they're fantastic. That's where two peers go when they need those services done.
Damn, it's great.
You have to go to thebaileyshow.com and you have to subscribe to the BS podcast. Now, this is a freebie episode, so if a lot of you listening are not subscribers for whatever reason, I'd like for you to subscribe. I really, really would. In order to win this up to $2,500 in rent or mortgage, you have to be a subscriber. The email that you submit your story with has to match the email that you subscribe to the podcast with on Spotify. All right. Not subscribing to Spotify, but to the BS podcast on Spotify. Again, you can do all this on thebaileyshow.com. And all you have to do is tell us why you should win. That's it. That's all. All right. And then if you do win, you're going to have to show me proof of your rent and or mortgage. Just got to prove it. That's all. And then I'll cut you a check. It's just that simple. All right. You ready?
No cash, folks. He ain't showing up with a bag of cash. It's a check. Sadly.
Really, December is a tough time for us. We have 4 girls and 1 boy. We have jobs, but would love to spoil the kids for Christmas. It sucks to say Santa couldn't get something. I love the BS, and this would be such a blessing. Thank you. That's it.
Oh, see, that one broke my heart. See that? So it gets me the four girls, 1 boy, 5 kids. Man, damn. Both parents got to work, and yeah, those years, Santa can't get you this.
Did you want more details, or was that good? Short to the point?
No, I liked it. I would want to know, a little bit more like what you do, where you from, where your kids into. Now, if these are like 23-year-old kids living at home, I'll be like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Why are these fuckers not getting a job? I'm guessing these are minors that are living at your home and not employment available people. So, but as far as I know, it seemed like a good one. It's quick, sweet. Hope we can help out.
This is another quick, sweet one too. My wife and I are trying to save for a house and are currently renting. This would help us so much in these times we're in. I'm 28 and I've been listening to you since the early Atlanta days. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work.
He said we?
My wife and I are trying to save for a house and are currently renting. This would help us so much in these times we're in. I'm 28 and I've been listening to you since the early Atlanta days. Love the podcast. Keep on the good work. Up the good work.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that guy. So
Another
he's
short
a little older than me.
Another short one. He's trying to save. So this money, I don't think he mentioned anything about the kids. I don't know if he has kids.
No,
He said, look, if I get this money, I can put it towards buying a house instead of renting.
Well, see, yeah, that one confused me a little bit. Is he putting it towards the rent for the place he's renting, or is he going to use that to go towards his home deposit?
Great question.
He might be looking at a home. He might be looking at a home that's $2,500 a month, but his rent might only be like $1,200. So you got to figure out which one he's getting out of that.
If you've submitted, we've been reading these for over a month now. Every time we ask questions, because we don't have you on the show, you should be answering these questions maybe on the private BS Two Peers Facebook group. If you're not a part of that and you want to join, just ask. I'll prove you. Somewhere on social media, you should be posting and saying something. Somewhere.
Yeah, we just need a little more info sometimes, Like I understand, you're not writing a thesis, so you're not hitting all the questions and everything, but sometimes we got questions. I mean, some details are left out, and sometimes you include too many details. It makes me go,
You can join us on the live Twitch stream every Tuesday night and answer the questions. You'll have one more before we find a winner.
Those are fun. Yeah, come to those.
Maybe you can do that. Podcast and Pours 4, Saturday, December 14th at Elixir downtown Orlando. Saliva is headlining. And as Bobby Amario has told me, they don't do these types of shows. It's acoustic. It's unplugged. And they probably won't do these types of shows ever again. So this is a very rare, unique, intimate opportunity to see Saliva do their awesome songs like Click, Click, Boom, Ladies and Gentlemen, Family Reunion, Always, so on and so forth. So hope you join us. If you're in the area, Elixir, downtown Orlando, we'll have Distinct Grace, Chuck's band, opening up, a female vocalist, very talented, big on social media, Riley Risa is going to join Distinct Grace on stage. We've got Santa Claus. We've got tickets to give away to Welcome to Rockville. We've got tickets to give away to Metallica. We've got BS merch. We've got the limited edition 2024 BS Christmas balls that we do every year, and whatever show that I'm doing, we'll do the live podcast out there. Brandon's going to put together his song up on stage. It's going to be fun. If you're looking for a hotel room, you're coming from out of town, the Hilton has blocked off a certain amount of rooms. I don't know how many are left at a specific price, really cheap, like $119, and you're right in downtown Orlando. Spend Friday and Saturday, because you can only do it for Friday and Saturday, in a beautiful Hilton. All right. Again, you can do all this on thebaileyshow.com, but we are coming up on the day, and I would love for you to be there. I have no idea what the ticket count is. So we could have sold 5 tickets. We could have sold 500 tickets. I have no idea. We're doing in this conjunction with WJRR. This is going to be really cool. So we hope that you join us. It's going to be a blast. Brandon's looking forward to coming down. He's going to be there.
It's going to be so fun. I've never been to Orlando, and I want to see your house, and I want to see this mansion that we're apparently staying in. Quote, Chuck.
Oh, you're staying. They got an Airbnb.
Yeah, he said it's a mansion. He said he's like, we got a big ass house. I was like, all right, we'll have to stay down there. I'll see what's going on.
So you're staying with him and not with me.
I don't know. We're down there a couple nights. I might split it up like divorced parents.
Well, he's on the other side of town. He's like an hour from me.
Oh, damn. Well, we're all going to your house one night though, aren't we?
Sure. I mean, you can.
We are.
Yeah. I mean, it's a short hour. I mean, it's like if Orlando's a circle, which it is, right? In Orlando,
like 285.
Yeah, kind of. And if Orlando downtown is in the middle, we would be 30 minutes towards Daytona Beach, and Chuck's place in Kissimmee is 30 minutes towards Disney. Like, you guys are by Disney. You're in the tourist.
So we gotta go straight and then wrap around and then go straight.
No, you just jump on I-4 and you go straight. I mean, you hit my house.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just hope there's no traffic. That's all.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But
get yourself a nice Orlando girl while you're here.
Oh yeah, I want to see what them look like. I want to see how them feel. What them do.
Well, they're not much different than any other girl. Orlando girls are good though. You know, make your way out by UCF, find yourself a nice college girl.
Oh yeah, it'll be I don't know if they're bowl eligible. They'll probably be done by then.
You want to know where to go, where the college girls go, is the Barn in Sanford. Thursday nights, line dancing.
Oh, I think we're coming down on a Thursday too.
You get here.
Well,
go to that's no, he's not playing. They're playing at the Music Box, which is also in Sanford. So they're going to play there beforehand because they're
all right. I got it. I'd be like, look, that's my boy up there. I manage him. I'm the manager of this band up here.
All right. Should be an interesting few days. And we're opening up the spa for 2 peers just for you guys on Sunday. If you go to liveozonetherapyspa.com, there's a special during the book. You go to book now, and then when you're picking out your services, it says BS 2 peers. You're picking that for that Sunday, an extremely discounted rate, but we can only take a certain amount of people. So we already have a good number of people already signed up. If you are interested in that, you can DM me, you can DM Rach, she's handling all this, but you can sign up on liveozonetherapyspa.com.
Also, I want to thank Linda. Linda's coming up to your spa on Sunday, and she offered me a ride home to Atlanta because we were talking about that. I was like, I might record and ride. I got to find a ride up. But I told her, I was like, I think it'll be okay. I appreciate it, though. I do appreciate
Linda
the
B.
offer.
Linda B.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. She booked. Yeah, Linda B.
Yeah. So
I don't want to say her last name, but Linda B. Yeah. Linda B, Josh, Sheila, Jose, and there's a handful more people. Those are just the ones off the top of my head. All right.
You didn't tell me why I got anything before I go by.
I'm not finishing up yet.
Okay.
The website stuff. Subscribe. This is a free episode. Please subscribe. Like, share, follow on all social media. Please, at Listen to the BS. Share our content. Please do that. I met a really nice guy at the Poke Room yesterday. He's probably listening right now. Dude, I forgot your name. I'm sorry. But he's been listening. He was a fan of mine when I was on here in Orlando at JRR. So he's been listening to me for a very long time. And he's like, I stopped listening to radio. He's like, I started listening to the podcast. And it's like, I love your guys' podcast. So thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but it was good hanging out with you at the Poker Room. And I know I'll see you again. Hopefully I'll see you at Podcast and Pours 4. All right, Brandon, you got anything before we get out?
I got good news today. Google identifies me as a internet personality.
Cool? I saw that. What is so when you Google your name, that's what it comes up as?
Yeah, you type my name in. Apparently, my cousin was looking for my mugshot earlier, and I was like, she was like, okay, Google, apparently. And so now you type in Brandon Thrasher, and you got to type it in right now, and it pop up the top thing. It'll say internet personality, and kind of show some of my pictures and stuff I post.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool?
These pictures are horrible.
All right, those are my Twitter profile pictures from back in the day. I don't know why it pulls up Twitter first. That might still be my Twitter.
Did you lobby for this or what?
No, no. I mean, I've always wondered how to get that. Like, you'll see, like, they'll call it like influencer birthdays or whatnot, and they'll put your birthday up there and say who you are and what you do. I was like, damn, how do I get that? But no, I've never got that before. So my cousin showed that, or she sent me a screenshot the day earlier, and I was like, oh, look at that. Cool. I like that. I enjoy it. That's
pretty cool, dude. I put in my name and I get host of the BS, jasonbailey.com. What happened to Jason Bailey? Bailey, that's what this says. People also ask, what happened to Jason Bailey? Bailey previously hosted the Bailey and Southside Morning Show at WNNX Atlanta, exiting October 2021. Bailey broke the news in an Instagram video where he said he would continue with his podcast and talk more about his exit from the station and plans there.
Well, that's good. I'm surprised they don't have like a little profile of you, like radio personality or something, or podcaster. Because you got a lot of articles and people talking about you.
Well, it has my social media. It shows my social media, but it has it under this Jason Bailey critic guy. So like they're mixing
just a dude that critiques you more than you put stuff out.
Yeah, they're mixing my shit with this dude. I don't know who this dude is. Probably more important than I am.
Well, you know, it's funny. I looked up Buckethead the other day, and apparently, did you see there's like that metal singer that wears a bucket on his head, like each concert he does?
He's a great guitarist, Buckethead. Yeah, he was in Guns N' Roses for a minute. You know,
oh, was he? Yeah, I didn't know he was a real thing.
Oh, he's a thing. But here's a funny. I think I've told this story before. So he and Serge Tankian, lead singer of System of a Down, are I guess very close. So some years ago, I was interviewing Serge Tankian at an Earth Day Birthday, which is the big festival JRR puts on. And I was like, hey, man, you know, this is Buckethead, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, your name's Buckethead? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you're not the real Buckethead. And I said, depends on who you ask. And he goes, the guitarist is the real Buckethead. He's a good friend of mine. And I'm going to tell him that you stole his name. I said, I got the paperwork that says it's mine. I don't know if he has it or not. And he goes, I guarantee. And he starts getting angry with me. So I guarantee he's, and I was like, oh, Jesus, dude, shut up. I'll never interview you again, douche.
Well, you got paperwork? What is that, like a birthright?
I trademarked the name. I mean, it's probably now since gone because I don't use it anymore, but I trademarked the name.
Oh, cool. There you go. Makes
so
sense.
So radio stations couldn't keep it.
Oh, well, no, I guess it wouldn't work. I'm about to say, I saw someone on Facebook the other day. They stole my whole account pretty much. Like I was scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through Facebook Reels and whatnot, and it shows. That's like one of my videos, like one of my old videos where it was actually one like right at the time you got fired. And I was showing you with The Rock playing the music in the background. I put it on that like Coca-Cola freezy machine. I'm like, is this my profile? Some dude stole it, and the motherfucker's gotten like multi-million views on this channel. He stole my profile picture and all my content. I mean, every single piece of it. This dude's just posting it up there. Yeah. And he's been doing it for a long time, but I just now saw it.
Did you reach out to him?
Yeah, I hit him up. I ain't heard nothing from him. He probably realized who I am. He's like, oh God, he's gonna get me shut down.
Can you get him shut down?
No, because I'm not Facebook doesn't care about you until you're like a partner with him or whatnot, or you got to become a partner with him. And then you have a copyright claims manager. Well, I don't have copyright claims manager right now, but apparently what you can do is once you're a partner, if you find an account that has stolen your content and they've made money off of it, you can get all that money back in like back pay or something, which is crazy. But I don't know how to do it besides. I might have to ask Manny about it. I don't know. You might know somebody.
I know when I went to California, it was weird. Like the first couple of months I was there, somebody stole my account. Like they didn't hack into it, but they mirrored it.
Yeah, that's what they're doing on mine. They just duplicate it.
I was like, why? I go, I just got here. Nobody knows who I am. What are you doing? It's like stupid. And I mean, I guess it just got shut down. I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to it.
I don't know, but they stole all my videos, and I know they've probably made some money off of it, those bastards.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations to Branden. We appreciate you guys listening. Please subscribe, get all the other episodes and the hundreds, if not, well, it is thousands of hours of content that is that you can unlock if you become a subscriber. That's the great thing about podcasting. It's not necessarily what today is or tomorrow brings. It's what we've done, and we've done a lot of good stuff. So you can spend your entire rest of your life catching up to what is now, and just good stuff in the works here in the near future. All right. As always, we appreciate the support. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.